Welcome, welcome.
How do?
Rocky Boxing Tour. That's awesome.
I just figured it was appropriate
Yeah.
for
It's like
tonight's
the regular
discussion.
concert tour shirt, right? It's got all the dates on it.
Yeah.
Does it have every one of his fights, or is it just the movie, the big ones?
I think every one.
Does it really?
I think this is the one that Mike worked with contenders with to get all the dates correct.
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, it's a cool shirt. Yeah. And I got the matching hat to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very cool.
Back very when they had that nice
that's like they had the shirt. They had the shirt that was which I did. I wasn't a big fan of, to be very honest. I'm not trying to put them down, but it had 1982 Apollo versus Rocky, but it was for the beach race. It was like the big beach race is like, why are you advertising a beach race? Like,
yeah, right.
It just didn't really, I don't know, didn't jive. But
there's another T-shirt that's out there, and I don't even know who makes it. Whatever, doesn't really matter. But it says Rocky beats Apollo, or Rocky defeats Apollo, and it says 1979.
1979.
But that's not correct. The movie came out in 79.
Right.
But it was actually in the later part of 76.
Well, no, it wasn't 76.
Or 77. 77 or something.
76 is when the original was. And then they had the
rematch.
The rematch was how many months after,
Well, the original fight was 76, and that was on Thanksgiving. So was that Thanksgiving? Yeah. Or around Thanksgiving. So then the rematch would have taken place. Boy, why am I drawing a blank on this? Apollo challenged him. And I thought it was around Thanksgiving again. Wasn't it?
See, but he said that. Now you're making me second guess myself here. I'm going to the Google. I'm going to Google.
Okay.
On Thanksgiving, the night of the match, Apollo makes a public goal of beating Rocky in no more than 2 rounds. Well, I do know. Remember, he was saying it was on Thanksgiving in front of this man's home crowd.
Right.
So, but the thing of it is, what now you got me.
So was that 77 or 76?
Well, 76. It was on New Year's Day.
And this has nothing to do with our topic.
Yeah, by the way, exactly. This has nothing to do with the topic of today. So 76, the original, was New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, I'm sorry. On 76, right? Because it was on January 1st, 1976.
So then the rematch would have been 76. Because it was Thanksgiving Day that same year. But a lot of the T-shirts say Rocky beats Apollo 1979, which brings us full circle to nothing.
I know. I'm second guessing everything I know about these films now. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm second guessing everything. Like, it just doesn't. New Year's Day, 76. The match takes place at the Spectrum in Philly. I knew that. We're good. Okay, so then
Rocky 2.
Rematch. He fights him to prove his last fight was a fluke. It doesn't have. Why doesn't it have the dates? Oh, now you're freaking me out.
But if it stands to reason that it was Thanksgiving, it would have been Thanksgiving that year of 76.
Huh. Let's see. Where's Mike when you need him? Mike, call the show. Call us up.
I bet you Joanne, Stacy, and Carol will set us straight.
Yeah, everybody listening probably now like, what are you guys doing? How come you don't know this stuff? And I'm really January 1st, 1976 at the Philadelphia Spectrum. We know that. That's done. That's a fact.
So if the rematch for Rocky 2 is on Thanksgiving Day, that's still within the same time frame of 76.
The rematch is set for Thanksgiving. It had to be for 76 then. Well, it
Right.
didn't have to be.
Well, what you gonna say the rematch was 2 years out? No. Because he started training, he had to get ready right away after Adrian came out of the coma. So it had to have been Thanksgiving Day of 76, which I've seen the t-shirts on all over the place that Rocky beats Apollo 79. And I'm like, that's not the movie came out in 79, but that's
Right.
not
I know that. I know that for a fact. I
but
mean,
that's not accurate.
because I saw it. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, that's not accurate information.
This is going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Mike's probably saying to himself, "What is wrong with you two? How do you not know this stuff? You're idiots." Okay, so no, you got to be right because the fight was January of 76.
Right.
That I know. And then it was however much time went by and maybe went in coma and then he trained and yeah, because he wouldn't have waited to Thanksgiving of 78 to fight him.
Or 77.
Or 77. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm skipping over years.
Yeah.
So it had to be 76, Thanksgiving
Right.
of 76.
But you've seen the t-shirts to
Oh
say
no, I have. I know I've seen the
Yeah.
t-shirts.
So
Because
anyhow,
it had to be that because then he wound up fighting Clubber in 81 and Rocky 3 came out in 82. Because I know he fought Clubber in 81. Was the second fight in 82? Now I'm embarrassed. I apologize to Rockhead Nation. I am utterly embarrassed right now. I don't know these dates.
Yeah, but you know what, Tony? We were focusing on our attention at a completely different topic, and once again, I derailed us.
Yeah, but I mean, these are dates that you should just know like that. I mean, why shouldn't we know these? Or at least a year anyway. Like some of the dates I don't remember. Like I don't know what month he fought Clubber.
Right. Well, it was fall. We're going to assume it was fall because they all had their jackets on and it was cool. And at the steps of the unveiling.
Well, that's when he was at the steps for the statue.
Right. So, and then the fight took place shortly thereafter that. But then the rematch, they went to California to train.
Right.
Boy, I mean that could go either way, 81 or 82.
And I know for a fact Drago was Christmas Day of 85.
Yeah.
That I know.
Right.
That I know.
Let's hang our hat on that one.
Yeah, exactly. We'll end it on that, folks. We'll end it on a high note. I'm embarrassed right now. That's ridiculous.
No.
Those dates.
Yeah, it's
but you're right. I remember seeing the shirt because it's just words.
Yeah.
Rocky defeats Apollo 1979.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it, to be honest with you, until you said it right now. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here it is right here. Oh, it is on the Contenders website. There it is right there.
Yeah, see?
1979.
But in real time.
Yeah, it was 76.
It'd be 76. So, I mean, we all know that Rocky is still living in Philadelphia. And if we went down there to ask him, he'd tell us it was in 76.
Yeah. Exactly. Rocky is real. We're going to leave it at that. Rocky is real.
Yes.
Anyway, so the boxing tour is leading us to other boxing films that are not Rocky. Well,
Tony, I probably could have turned around and we could have read it off the damn back of the shirt.
That's true. That is true. See, he goes to show you. And we haven't even been drinking, guys. It's just pretty crazy.
Hey, this is just water.
I would say, yeah, I'm not like Dean Martin. This is really water. This is not,
No, this is really water.
Iced tea and bourbon.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, but yeah, as we all know, Rocky is not a boxing film.
No, it's not.
As all Rockhead Nation knows, which is unlike the rest of the planet. But there are other boxing films
Yes.
that are out there
And some very good ones.
that were very, very good, and in no order whatsoever of these films, and we're just gonna kind of throw them out there and chat about them. We'll discuss that, but I think probably the biggest boxing film. If you were to say somebody, name me the greatest boxing film, or name me one of your favorite boxing films, or whatever comes to mind, I do believe Raging Bull is going to be up there as the number one answer. Now,
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, real life biography of Jake LaMotta. Is it the greatest boxing film ever made? I mean, that's up for debate. Obviously, that's an opinionated question, but it's definitely one of the most well-known movies ever made about boxing.
Right.
That's not a make-believe. And most of the boxing films are loosely based on true stories.
Right.
So based on true events.
Right. There are quite a few of them, actually.
Yeah. Well, this one here in particular was, filmed in black and white. Like I said, based on Jake LaMotta's life, and Jake had he had a life, that's for sure. He was, no stranger to the ladies, to the drinking, domestic violence at home, and he was a mess. He was just a mess. But if there's truth to that film, he led a interesting lifestyle. We'll leave it at that. But one tough son of a gun is in the boxing ring, that's for sure.
Oh, no doubt about that.
But then there's other films that are more I don't want to say not as well known or more obscure, but if you mention I don't know, give me let's think about one. So you mentioned $1 Million Baby.
Yes.
Okay, obviously Best Picture, 4 Academy Awards, Morgan Freeman, Clint Eastwood, Hilary Swank, great film.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would bet that a lot of people wouldn't mention that if you were talking boxing films.
Boy, and that would be an absolute shame, because that movie is phenomenal.
It would be a disservice to that film, absolutely, because it was a great film.
Oh my God. Geez. I thought every one of those characters, including Hilary Swank, just nailed their roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this before. I met the boxer who was her opponent,
Mm-hmm.
that knocked her into the chair,
Mm-hmm.
the stool, and paralyzed her. I met her.
Mm-hmm.
She was a real life boxer. I'll think of her name in a minute. And super nice lady. You wouldn't know that she was ever a boxer. I think she was
Right.
heavyweight champ at one time,
Jeez.
But that movie, it has that Rocky feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming from nothing, just like Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from. I mean, how mad did you get when her mom and sister and her husband and the lawyer were introduced?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was like writhing.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? She
Well,
goes
I
and
think
buys
that's the
her
one
mom
thing
a
they all
house.
have in common too. These films is that most of them were, the usual underdog, nobodies that rose up to the title, to fame, to
Mm-hmm.
win what they wanted to win, whether it would be self-respect or the boxing title. In the previous mentioned Raging Bull, he wanted the title. He wanted to do whatever he had to do to get the title. That's what he
Right.
wanted. Like you said, $1 Million Baby, a definite underdog Rocky feel to it, achieving what she wanted to achieve. They all seem to kind of have that, and that's probably what the appeal is to the boxing film. It's not like everybody, we've already discussed this. Everybody loves an underdog. Everyone who wants to, the David Goliath story and see the little guy win. But most of them that's what it is. It's really like that.
Oh, it's life and death to these people. I mean, I don't think it was based on any type of a true story or anything like that. But I mean, if you go and you remember back to the movie where she's taking scraps off of people because she was a waitress
Yeah.
and taking them home and eating them because
Right.
she had nothing,
Yeah.
you can in a sense relate to that. Is she's out there, she's trying, she's giving her best,
Mhm.
but the world just keeps on pushing her down, and
Yep.
she's doing what she's got to do to get by. And boy, that movie, and then to jump to the end. Oh, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
Awesome.
killer. I can't
Awesome.
imagine. I can't say that. Disclaimer: this movie is older.
All of our films are. I mean, there's nothing. Well, maybe not the George Foreman movie. That one kind of just came out recently, but again, it's not like you don't know George Foreman's story. So
Right,
it's been around for a long time.
right. But what she does, because she's just had it. She's had enough. She can't take it. I think you said you haven't seen it in a minute. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
tries to bite her tongue off
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
tries to bleed to death, and then she has Clint
Yep.
Eastwood, her manager, come in, and oh, heart wrenching.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Great film. Great film. We had some others on here. I mean, so when you think, I know that you had interaction with the other group of boxers that are what this
Oh
film's
yeah.
about.
Yep.
Fighter with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg, Amy Adams. Again, based on true story. And that those are also gentlemen that you met up in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Uh, again, kind of, I mean, not the greatest of upbringings and not really a
Oh
lot of
no.
money. And, this is what it is. And they achieved what they achieved. The underdog story again, getting up to there.
Right. I think it was Mickey. Was it Mickey or Dick? Uh, I think it was a Mickey who had a lot of problems.
Mm,
I think it was Mickey who had the substance abuse
mm,
problems, the alcoholism, and he led a tough life.
yeah.
Yeah, real tough life, and and Dickie was there just to do the best he could, and he did good. He did good. He had a big fight with uh, when I'm drawing a blank now. Boy, CRS is bad down here. Must be the radon. I don't
Last
know.
two, I think it was 2 episodes ago. You said CRS, and I laughed. And in the comments, Stacy goes, "What's CRS? Am I missing something?" So I told her what it was in the comments, and so oh yeah, I have that too. I get it.
I can't remember what it is, but I know I have it.
Exactly.
But yeah, he had a couple of big fights, and
Right, and again, based on true events. I mean, so
yep.
Rory right now, three movies in, and all three are based on Jake LaMotta and the Raging Bull, the fighter, $1 Million Baby, and then of course two more that we have are based on true. Ali with Will Smith.
Yeah,
It's based on Muhammad Ali's life. That one was a long movie.
yes, it was.
Yeah, I think it was like 3.5. I think it might have been 3. It was long though, and I am not a huge Will Smith fan in general. I don't really care for him, but he really did an amazing job with that film.
Knocked it out of the park. He
Yeah,
really
he did.
took on
Yeah,
his
he did.
persona,
Yeah,
his mannerisms. He nailed that role
yeah, he did.
without a
Yeah, he did. I
doubt.
mean, he got all bulked up.
Yep.
Learned how to box. Yeah, he really did an amazing job there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you find out some of the behind the scenes stuff with Ali. A lot of it was brought out, and then some of it was not. But like his involvement with was it Malcolm X and
Mm-hmm.
I we were little, when he was in his heyday.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we may have been privy to the information, but we
Right.
probably were just
Yeah, and
we were
also,
little, so it just kind of flew over our
yeah,
heads.
exactly. I mean, the news back then wasn't like it is now, where number one is 24/7.
Right.
But it also there was very little uh, digging for dirt.
Right.
Back then it was basically he was the greatest. He was the heavyweight champ. He was
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. It was. I remember watching him. I was anywhere between 7 and 11. I'm guessing my ages were. I mean, I watched him on Wide World of Sports I watched him against Joe Frazier. I watched him against George Foreman. I mean, and that's what you saw. So you didn't know
Yeah.
about the civil rights stuff going on. You were too young to really know about that.
Right.
And his involvement, of course. Same thing with the refusal to be drafted. I had no idea until I got older. No
No,
idea.
yeah, right. Right.
I just I didn't know why he wasn't boxing,
Right.
because he couldn't box for however long because he did that. And actually, that's what led to the cartoon fight with Rocky Marciano.
Yes. Yes.
It's because he couldn't. He wanted to get some money, and that was his only way to get some money.
Right.
So he wound up doing the make believe fight, and Marciano beat him.
49-0.
Yeah, that's a movie they need to make a biography about.
Surprised they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, they might have it in a lower budget or something. I'm sure there's something out there.
Yeah.
I know there's no big budget. I haven't seen anything in a bigger budget
Right. Right.
But yeah, you got Ali, and then like you had mentioned earlier, the George Foreman one. I have not seen this one yet, so I really can't comment on it. But I know you have.
I have seen it.
Yeah, and I remember when he won the title back, when big old guy Foreman winning the title back. He was like he was like a moving refrigerator.
Who wasn't rooting for Big George back then?
Exactly.
It kind of reminded me of, remember Mike Tyson's boxing on the old Nintendo? Remember that? And there was a character called King Kong Hippo.
Yeah.
And he was like, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I always portrayed George as King Kong Hippo in that one.
Well, it's funny. I mean, you probably have seen Foreman fight when he was younger too.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember seeing him, and he had moves, and he
was lean,
and he was lean. And then and then later on, everybody just knew him as the Foreman, the George Foreman grill.
Right.
I didn't even know he was a boxer.
Right.
But then when he got in that ring, he was amazing. I couldn't even believe he won that title back again.
Well, I will tell you, the movie is definitely worth the watch. I really enjoyed it. There was stuff about his life I didn't know that I found very interesting. And one of the biggest, I'm not going to get into specifics, probably people haven't seen it yet, but the take on the fight where I think George was going in undefeated against Ali, and that was their first matchup. And what transpired in the ring during that fight really caught my attention, because it just went to show how smart Ali was.
Okay.
I mean, you see it in YouTube videos, you see it here, you see it there, whatever. But when you see it actually portrayed or, talked about throughout,
right.
You're like, oh my God, he had this game plan. And if you watch it, you'll know. And if you know the history of it, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, that was smart. That was smart.
He was. I mean, he was. Again, I didn't really know a whole lot about boxing between the ages of 7 and 11 or so, 7, 12, whatever I was. But I remember watching him all the time, because it seemed like he was always on fighting somebody.
Oh, Friday Night Fights.
And it wasn't like it is now with this pay-per-view, and you had to have cable, and you had to have like we already discussed, he was on the Wide World of Sports, and it was free. I mean, you just put this channel on, and there he was. It was fun. The Rumble in the Jungle. I mean, Howard Cosell was calling the fights, and the whole 9 yards. So I remember seeing him all the time, and I was just like, even then, and at that age, I knew how. I was like, God, this guy's like a machine. I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah,
he really was. And then, of course, he had the repeat fights with the ones that gave him the most trouble. And then, I mean, obviously, he didn't go undefeated in his career.
No,
Ali, he did lose, but he did win back again. Rumble in the Jungle and the Thriller in Manila, but it was something to watch, that's for sure.
Me and my little brother, my father, we'd sit we'd always sit down and watch the Friday night fights or the Saturday night fights, whatever. And they were on during the day too, I
Yeah.
mean, Wide World of
Yeah.
Sports, whatever. And I can remember, I'm not going to say this is it, okay? But I can remember watching a fight like as a Friday night or Saturday night. And it was Ali, and it was against, this heavier white guy. And I just remember this guy bleeding
Just-
like crazy.
yeah, and well, it had to be that fight. I mean,
I don't know. I can't say it was.
had
I'm
to
not
be.
even
It had to be the
pretend to say.
Webner fight.
The Bayonne
I mean, he
bleeding.
really didn't. How I don't even. I'd have to look. Of course, I don't really know a lot of details about his career. I mean, I know about his career, but I'd have to look to see how many white guys he even fought.
Yeah.
I don't really remember him going up against many.
I just remember this poor SOB was, I mean, he was like a puddle.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing the fight. I mean, I might have. I don't know. I might have at that time period. I was probably about 8 or 9, give or take, when that fight happened. So I might have saw it. I just don't recall seeing it.
Yeah.
But if you remember that, it had to be him. Because
I'm gonna have to go through and see if I can find a replay, because if I can see it in my head, I can see it in my mind, and maybe if I saw it played back, that scene it might trigger and be like, no, wasn't it. It must have been a different one, or oh yeah, it was that fight, But how much of a coincidence would that be?
I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible because I mean, do you remember the shorts he was wearing at all? Do you remember that?
Two-tone shorts, the two-tone.
Yeah.
Ali still, I mean, to his deathbed, he's always saying, I slipped, man, I slipped.
And if you look at it, I mean, he kind of did. I mean, it wasn't like it's complete baloney. So, according to our friend Google, March 24th, 1975,
Okay.
was the Wepner Ali fight. So I was just shy of being 9. I was born in May, so I was May of 66. So May of 75, I would have been 9. So I was 8, almost 9. So like I said, I might have seen it. I just don't recall it.
I'll have to do some digging to see if that fight, when it was aired, if they'll even say that,
Right.
But I'll go back through and I'll watch it. Or actually, to go back to the topic, there is a Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder movie that I have not, or it's called The Real Rocky. I think The Real Rocky, which I have not yet seen.
Neither have I.
But I would like to see it.
Yeah, same here. I would like to as well. I would like to, but I have not. I have not seen that. There's so many, and also, of course, when you think of boxing movies, you obviously automatically think of Sly as well.
Sure.
We all know Rocky's not a boxing movie, but it'd be hard to say that the others weren't. They, a little more heavily on the boxing and,
right.
As much love story, doing what's right for yourself and so forth and so on. But anyway, long story, I'm dragging on here. I was very surprised Sly agreed to do a boxing movie outside of Rocky.
I know, right?
I was shocked.
I know.
I mean, it was a fun movie. I'm not going to lie. It was a fun movie. He had Kevin Hart, Alan Arkin, who, God rest his soul, he just passed 6 months ago, or whatever it was.
Yes.
Kim Basinger, obviously De Niro, who he worked with in Copland, and Stallone. And the storyline is fun. But I was just shocked he did another boxing movie. I was just completely shocked.
Blew my mind. Yep.
Yeah.
And I loved, and I'm sure you did too, the little references, like when what was his trainer's name? It was like Crash or something like that. I can't think of it.
Oh, Alan Arkin?
Yeah, Alan Arkin. What was his name in the? Anyhow,
it's Lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah,
Lightning. and he's like, they're going through the meat house, and he gets ready to go, to hit the meat. He's like, "What are you doing?" What?
I mean,
We
you
eat
almost
it. We
had
don't
to,
hit it.
yeah, you almost had to throw some
Yeah,
goofy nods to Rocky with that film. You had to. Right.
I
Sly
know.
putting on boxing gloves, he had to.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
There
that
was
was I don't like I said, I don't know. I mean, it was a fun movie, I'm not gonna lie. I only saw it because of Sly and De Niro, obviously. I
right.
don't know if I would have saw it if it was anybody else. And it was fun. It was a fun film, but I'm not saying it he shouldn't have done it. I was just very shocked he did.
Right,
That's
right.
all. I'm just very surprised he did.
Almost like a spoof, but yet not.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great standalone. Again, the shock factor of just doing a boxing movie
Yeah.
outside of Rocky completely.
Well, because I mean
I'm
that was what
sure.
everybody. I mean, it was Rocky and Raging Bull. That was the two of them right there.
Right, right.
Rocky and Jake LaMotta. It was.
Yep.
I mean, De Niro looked in a lot worse shape than he did in Raging Bull, and Sly looks like he could still kill De Niro.
Yeah.
But
I love it when they went to the mixed martial art, the MMA fight, and the guy's like, he comes out and he says something like, "You're calling this kicking and whatever." I haven't seen it in a few minutes, but he's like, "No, I want you to hit him," and he comes over and knocks him out.
well, remember when they were doing the video game? And they had the
Yes.
suits on and they had all the things on. So they started really going at it.
Yeah. I laughed my butt off watching.
Yeah,
that
that's
movie.
what I mean. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike it. I don't think it was a joke. Like Sly should have never done it.
No.
I was just surprised when somebody
Yeah.
approached him and said, "We got this idea of a boxing movie," that he even said, "Let me hear it." I'm just shocked that he said
Right, right. Kevin Hart
it would
was
be like
hysterical.
almost saying, doing another one man army movie where you're killing everybody,
Yeah.
but your name is Frank.
Yeah.
So I was just shocked. That's all. That's all.
Franco.
Yeah, Franco instead of Rambo.
Oh,
man.
man.
But then you had some other ones now. Now this one here, talk about the transformation that took place. Jake Gyllenhaal looks like he could do some damage in the ring. That's for sure.
Well, he's fighting. He's had a couple of professional fights.
He's in shape and he knows what he's doing. I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely knows the sport. I'm not saying he can go there and have a career, but he definitely knew what he was doing. You could tell by how he was. You could just tell when somebody's got it and they have a little flow to them, or they don't. And that goes for any sport. You watch some sport movies, and you see somebody throw a football or a baseball, and you could just tell, like, they had to show him how to throw.
Yeah, right.
Or you like, wow, man, he's got a nice little spiral to that.
Yeah. Well, I know Jake. He won his first official pro fight. I do know that. And yeah, Southpaw I thought was a wonderful movie. Kind of brought it up to like today's day and age with the showmanship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was definitely. I mean, let's face it. Back when Ali was all mouth, he was Apollo Creed before it was Apollo Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were and the other guys, Joe Frazier and George Foreman and all the other boxers. Sugar Ray a little bit of the showmanship, but he was he wasn't a heavyweight,
Right?
And then you got up and up, and even Tyson when he first came out, he wasn't mouthy.
No,
he just went out there and just destroyed everything in front of him.
Yeah, he came in a cutoff sweatshirt.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was kind of probably a good thing that they didn't let him talk because definitely wasn't saying some things he should have said. I'll just kill you and eat your children. Like you don't want to go saying that, Mike. Calm down.
It's a good invitation.
Thank you. But he didn't go crazy and mouthing off. And now it's like it's a whole different ballgame. Man, these guys are jumping on the ropes and yelling and screaming and cursing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I haven't watched boxing. Oh, geez, it's been a while. It's been
Yeah.
a while. I was still into it when Tyson was at his top. I was into it when Tyson lost
Yep.
and faded away when he went to jail and all. And that's probably when I stopped, around there,
Okay.
around
Okay.
that time.
I like to catch the fights whenever I can. If I know
Yeah.
that they're on, I will sit down and watch a fight or two. Do I know all the fighters like I used to?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, especially too, because now there's a billion different divisions. I mean, it used to
right.
be, lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
Yeah.
Now it's
Now there's a
light
light
feather and
bantamweight.
light
Like,
middle and bantam and
yeah.
super heavy, and they're all over the board.
Yeah. And then you got your three belts and nobody can get unified, and it's like,
Yeah, the belts. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the belts are all over the board. They're all over the place.
yeah, it's just like, come
But
on,
they've
you
been three
guys.
belts for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, they've been three. Was it so? Because Tyson had all three belts.
yeah. But I think it's been a little bit
Mike had
since
all
they've
three
been,
belts.
I think it's been a bit since they've been unified, though, or something like that. There's just a whole lot of political
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo with it, as usual.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. Well, now especially too. Now, I mean, I can't. Don't even get me started with the whole stupid Jake Paul nonsense and this moron who's fighting has-beens that aren't boxers and blah blah
mhm.
blah. I just not going to get. It's turning into just WWE. So it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
getting
It
completely out
does
of
sound
hand now.
like that. It does sound like that.
I mean,
But
don't get
yeah,
me wrong. The guy's
Southpaw.
a big. What's
I'm
that?
sorry.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was gonna say the Southpaw brought the boxing movies up to, today's,
Yeah, they did.
you know,
They did. They
the
definitely did.
the the glory and the showmanship. I mean, there was that showmanship with Rocky Four. Well, Rocky, with Apollo, but not like today where it's all these stunts and gags and
Yeah, I mean now
you know
they knock the guy down. They're running up on the top rope. They're yelling around. They got it's about advertising. It's
even
about
the
sponsors.
weigh-ins are the
Yeah, the
weigh-ins
weigh-ins.
are it's like, come
Yeah,
on.
they're fighting each other at the weigh-ins. It's like it's a little much. It's a little much.
Yeah.
And they should go watch Rocky Four. That press conference. Remember it? Was that too much? Was that good? No, a little
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Too less
right.
than I like it, but it was good. Like,
I know.
just chill it
But
out a little bit.
but with the Southpaw, it, it it had a little bit of that Rocky feel. I loved Forrest Whitaker in
Yeah,
the role that he played with the manager.
yeah,
Oh,
he was good.
he was just
He's a good
phenomenal.
actor. He's a good.
Oh
I like
yeah.
him. Real good actor.
It's another one that could read the phone book and I'd pay attention.
He's been in a ton of films
Yes, he
and good
has.
films too. Not even like he just has a long list of films. I mean, he's been in
Right.
some good movies.
I think I don't know if he's underrated, underloved, but you know what? He has a place on the podium. That guy, he has made a name for him. He's come from nowhere, and he's really oh, such a great actor. And he's in some kind of a series now, I think.
Oh, he is.
Some type of a mafia. I'm
I
not
don't know if he's underrated. I maybe might throw out underappreciated,
under.
or maybe
Thank you, thank you.
maybe looked over when you're starting to talk about great actors. You mentioned De Niro, and you mentioned Denzel Washington, and you mentioned all these people. I don't think he would get mentioned in those groups, and that I think is a bit of a disservice.
I
Because
think
he
those are the
warrants
words.
that. Yeah,
That's underappreciated. He is so good. Oh,
yeah. I mean, just to look at his filmography real quick. I mean, he was in a movie called Phenomenon with John Travolta,
yep, I saw that.
which was a great film. And that's the other thing too. He'll be in films like that, and he's in a movie called Panic Reel, Phone Booth. So he's got a little action going on. He was The Last King of Scotland. He had all kinds of awards given to him. I did not see that film.
I know, I did not either.
This is going back to 2008. Repo Man, Hurricane Season, See, he's got just so many films that you could sit here and just keep going. And The Butler,
Mm-hmm.
that was a great film. He was in Taken 3. He's in Southpaw. He's just so many movies. He was in one of the Black Panther movies. Oh, he's in Big George Foreman. I didn't know that. Okay. He's Doc Brodus. He plays in Big George Foreman.
Boy, I'm
Yeah, I'd have to see. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch that this weekend. I think I haven't seen that.
I
So
did. I mean, I watched. I'm not seeing him, but I'm not. I'm sure it's right,
right.
But there's just something about his demeanor, his, he's got that lazy eye, and just the way he holds himself. And
Yeah.
he's like, there's Morgan Freeman, who's, I don't know, who his voice.
Yeah.
It's just something with him.
Well, he just doesn't seem like he's trying. He just seems
Right.
like he's just
doing it.
Doing it exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a convincing doing it. And it's well acted, and it's he's a real good actor. Real good. There's a lot of actors like that I'd hate to say they're a B actor because everybody thinks of the big names. When you first think of certain people, you mentioned, like you say, Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington, or De Niro and Brad Pitt and DiCaprio and these guys. And don't get me wrong, they're all amazing. I mean, I watch every one of them.
In their own right,
movie,
sure.
Run out and watch it. But then there's that close to level of actor like him that I just think get overlooked. Like you said, just kind of like you don't really realize how good they are until you start talking about it and put their body of work together. And you're like, damn, man, it's almost like a sports player. Like, yeah, he was pretty good. He had this. You're like, oh, damn, okay, he's real good.
Yeah, right.
He's got it all laid out in front of you. You're like, okay, yeah, he is better than I thought.
Well, if there was an Actors Hall of Fame, he should be in it, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Absolutely. So let's see. We missed any other boxing movies? I can't think of any. I know there's a ton of them, and there's older ones that we probably haven't seen or haven't thought. I remember The Champ with John Voight, Ricky Schroeder.
Oh my God, I haven't even thought of that movie in forever.
Yeah, you got The Champ. You got Cinderella Man. That was
a good movie. Cinderella Man was based on a true story.
Yeah. No.
That was James Braddock.
Yep.
Played by Russell Crowe.
Yep.
And
that's another good actor. That body of work is amazing.
And for some reason I always held off on watching that. I don't know why. I saw, the picture of the movie, on the screen or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. And I watched it and I was like, wow, this guy went through a lot.
Yeah.
He went through a lot, and he was the heavyweight champ or close to it. And then he got hurt, and then they were basically poverty stricken. And there was was it the blight? Was it the potato blight or something? I can't remember.
But I don't remember either. It's been a while since I saw it.
And then he had to go to work on the dock. He's just like, when they would all show up to the docks and they would just, okay, you, and you guys got jobs, rest you go. And that's that's a good movie to watch. That's a good movie.
Yeah. Who do you call was his wife, right? Renee Zellweger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
She's a good actress too. Good film.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I'll have to go catch up on some of these. Definitely got a little list here of what I need to catch up on. I definitely want to see the Big George Foreman one.
Yes.
And I haven't seen, like I said, Cinderella Man's been a while. I probably haven't seen that in a couple of years. Probably been.
I'd like to sit back down and watch it. One more that I would highly recommend is called Father's Stew. It's with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
And it's loosely based around boxing. He is a boxer, but it is based on a true story, if not a total true story. We'll just go in somewhere in there. Okay.
Right.
But it is definitely based on. And what this guy did, another one, pulled himself up by his bootstraps. I was like, I saw the thing about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a boxing movie. I'll watch it, just see. Very pleasantly surprised.
Huh.
And the ending will get you. The ending will
Another
get
one now on my list. Father Stew.
Father
STU.
Stew.
Okay. All right. I never even heard of it.
The picture will be, it'll be him on a picture of him on the left, maybe as a punk or a
Okay.
fighter, and on the right as a priest.
Okay. Okay.
Something
I'll have to
along
check
those
it out.
lines.
We'll have to check that out.
And
So
you can
Stevie,
figure
give
it
you
out
guys
in
homework
between.
too. Everybody
Yeah.
go check out new movies now that you could think about. Or maybe if we miss some boxing movies, bring them up to us and we'll talk about them.
Right.
Good stuff, my friend.
Absolutely. Boy, that went by quick.
I know, right? I looked up at the clock. I'm like, holy crap, already?
Holy crap.
I was getting worried we weren't going to hit the mark. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to do this one. We're flying by these movies pretty quick.
Well, no.
But we had a good 10 minutes of trying to figure out when Rocky's dates were. So
I know. And again, we'll be waiting for Stacey and Carol.
yeah, somebody just put, I'm ashamed of you, Tony. Sorry about that. I can't even believe I didn't know it off the top of my head. No, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I'll use that as an excuse. I'm getting old.
That's it. That's all.
All right, and my friend.
What are
Well,
you
I'll
gonna
see you
do?
next week.
You got it, buddy.
Everybody, thank you for watching as always. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And we'll check
Thank
you out
you.
next week. Thank you.